It's Wednesday, 7 o'clock. How are you? Just gonna finish getting everything set up. I think it just went. I think we're good. Yay! So if you're on with me, please say hello. And I'll do a quick reminder. This guy is live. So remember about celebration. And we've got club going. This DIY kit will be available through Sunday. Tomorrow's blog will have all the links for you at 9:30 in the morning. Let's see, what else? I'm not sure. So I'm going to flip around and we're just going to get to creating. It's just that simple. So hold on. Let me see. Hey, Pam. I would ask you, how are you? But I think I know. So life can be fun, huh? So let me get this going. Let's see. Is that in there? Okay. I wanted to make sure it wouldn't fall out because you never know. All right, so I think we're good. I think. Are we even? Yeah, needs scooched a little bit. Alrighty, so for tonight, the DIY kit is By the Bay cards. So you get 3 cards and a bonus pack of the flat adhesive back pearls, which are gorgeous, but a full pack costs us $20 or $15 for team plus shipping. Yes, I'm sorry, but it is in my shop and $6.95 is the shipping for the entire basket. So if you have other stuff you order, it is simply $6.95, not per item, but per basket. So there you go. For more details, stampingwithjohnny.com. You're going to go /DIY kit. And this is available through the 15th. Can you believe it's halfway through the month by Sunday? I cannot. It's going super fast. So, for club this time, let's get our little red marker. It's in the drawer somewhere. So, let's see here. Let me pull this down. And our club to get the bonus of the pastel adhesive back sequins. Now, this is not part of the kit. This is simply an order through Stampin' Up. So, let's see here. This is different than the kit that I'm offering. So, YM9D3, even though it looks funny, B4N, and that is for club if you want a bonus with ordering from the new catalog, anything current, including the clearance rack. So for tonight, featured product, I do have one retired set that's left, and that's in the shop, so you can also get that with the DIY kit. The last retired set that's left from the new stuff, from the last mini, is the Scary Cute bundle. Everything else is from previous, and you're welcome to that as well. $6.95 even if you order the whole shop. So right now, starter kit, we've got $99 for $175 instead of $125 in product with no shipping. So instead of $209.30, you go to $106.67, so you save over $100. That is, let's see, the first option. Let's see, or the third option rather. The other 2 options are $129 instead of $99, but it also gets you the $175 in product, but also a mini machine for the $63. It's a $63 value, and you only pay an extra about $30. And then if you host, you get Scenic Garden for free as a bonus on top of all your freebies with $300 of qualifying orders. Whether that be you or everybody else, that's up to you. So, all right, so for tonight, we got a bunch going on. Let's do this, huh? So first off, I need to get my trimmer. I put it way on the other side, and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be good. So, first and foremost, let's show you the 3 cards. So, first one is this fish one. It's easy, but it shows the brilliance of some of our designer series paper. And then our second one is a framed, gorgeous landscape card. Why am I doing this? Because I want to show you how to cut these. Super easy. We're not going to be doing the embossing on this one. We're just going to make it simple, but those corners, super duper easy, believe it or not. And last but not least, here's the back of the card. And we are going to create this triple step card. Okay, yes, really. All of the materials for this will come in your kit, already die cut, finished, ready to go. All you need is glue and the stamp set to go. And honestly, it's all sentiments. So if you, as long as you can fit the circles and the panels and whatnot, you'll be good to go. So obviously I'd prefer you to order it, but you don't have to. So there you go. All right, so for this evening, let's get going on these 3 cards, shall we? All right, so this first card, I'm calling the fish card. Okay, so, all right, so let's get the sentiment out of the way. Let's get our cardstock moving, going, and trimming, shall we say? Yeah? So first and foremost, I have a piece of thick white cardstock, and this is cut at what size? 5.5 by 8.5, and on the 8.5 side, scored at 4 1/4. That is our card base. Okay. Then we are going to get our trimmer and get moving on this. So this is one of the pieces of the By the Bay. This is a 6x6 specialty designer series paper. So we're gonna trim this down for you. On the other side are some seashells with some foiling. So we're gonna trim this down for you, and this trim is gonna go to 3 3/4. Okay, by 5. And that's our first layer. Okay, then next one is our Night of Navy. And our Night of Navy is already trimmed to our width, and our width is 3 1/4, so that's an inch shorter than our card. So our cards are normally at 5.5, so that means this goes to 4.5. Just that simple, right? Basic subtraction. Okay, now this is the fun part, right? What part do I want to cut off? I want to cut off this side, not the circular portion. So this was, let's see, 3 1/4. So we're going to go down to 2 3/4. Okay. And 2 3/4 is going to, let's see, what side am I cutting off? This side here. So 2 3/4, let's see, we started at 4 1/4. So that's an 1.5 inches down. So 1.5 inches would be at 4, because we start at 5.5, correct? There we go. Okay, so here's our piece, our accent piece. So I'm going to do this one a tiny bit differently. Tiny bit, not by much, but tiny bit. I'm going to use my Night of Navy for my ink choice. Okay, and we're going to grab our By the Bay. If you wanted something different, go for it, but I think I'm going to do Thank You for Everything. So we're going to peel this off. We're going to put all our pieces back in. Why? Because I don't want my stickers working overtime. I want my stickers to be here for me for when I need them, not to stick to the case. Okay, so Thank You for Everything. And I'm like, I know I have blocks out here. So if you know a block or a stamp is properly sized, if you can see all the corners of the stamp when you look down. If it runs past the edge, you need to get a bigger one. Okay, so I'm going to stamp here. Why is that? So you know exactly where your stamp is going. Okay, so I'm going to stamp down here. And we're going to get our thank you for everything on there. I know the other one said sympathy, but I got to toss it up a little bit. Okay. So this DIY kit that I was talking about, that if you order that, and that's on the shop portion, if you order that, guess what happens? You get all these materials sent and ready to go for you. Okay. So all the scoring, all the punch outs, everything but the stamping happens for you. Awesome, right? So at least I hope so. So because this is this way across, I'm like, which way should we do this direction? I think our waves are going to be a little bit different, but that is just fine. Okay, so I'm going to grab my whole stack and I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to fold this flat. And what I'm going to do is grab my Stampin' Seal and throw this down on here. Okay, and so here, and we're going to grab our Night of Navy with our seal and we're going to throw this down here. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to grab our fish from our designer series paper, and this, just make sure your words are going down the right way. If you want to do dimensionals instead, you could do that to make it stand out. It's up to you. Now I got to remember where I put my beloved pearls. There we are. Okay, so our pearls, flat adhesive back pearls. This is my partial pack. You're going to get a full pack as a bonus as part of this DIY kit. Okay, so I'm going to close up my ink real quick. And I grabbed it on all four corners, but you honestly can do whatever you want, right? Because that's the nature of creating. But for the sake of simplicity, because I already turned it sideways, I am just going to grab my four corners. So that's the first card. Okay. So here's the difference, top to bottom and side to side. So that's the first one. Okay. Second one we're going to capture here is this guy here. Okay. So this framed card, I'm going to grab my trimmer again. And I got to grab all my pieces first, obviously. So we're going to grab all this and all this and all this. Looks like a lot, right? Yeah, you're going to get a lot. So we've got crumb cake, we've got soft suede, I've got my card base, and I've got my 2 pieces of designer series paper out of the By the Bay 6x6 designer series, specialty designer series paper. Sorry, misspoke. So that's what the back side looks like. Okay, so that's what we have for this. All right. So our card base, let's start from bottom to top. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 11. On the 11-inch side, it is scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to bend that over just to save space for the moment. All right. So the, I'm going to wait on that for a second. But what I am going to do, my darker piece is going to be my middle piece. My outer one is going to be simply to do for this. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches because that's what I want to go up. Okay, so we're going to do 4 inches, and then, you ready? Okay, I want to cut off some of my sky. I want my land to still be there. So we're going to go 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, are you getting it so far? Okay, so that's going to be this piece here. Now I haven't glued that on, so that's not going to stay, but that's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going way, way, way down, and I'm going to go 3 inches. Why do I pick 3 inches? Because this is a 6x6, which means I can get 2 cards out of this. Okay, that's the why. Okay, so if I go 3 inches, that's 1 1/4 inches down. So I want to cut off the blue. So start at 5 1/2. 1 1/4 inches would be 4 1/4 inches. Simple math, right? At least in theory. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, oh my gosh, that's 3 inches. We got to write this down. And the other one is 4 1/4. Why? Because I want my length for my framing. That's why. Okay. So our framing is going to be a touch in and then a touch bit. Actually, it's going to be about a 1/4 inch longer. Okay. So I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch wide. You can do whatever you want though, but I'm doing 3/4 of an inch wide. And then this one is, let's see, we're doing 3 inches. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch more. So I'm going 3 1/4. And then 4 1/4 goes to 4 1/2. Okay. And then hopefully I can still get 3 1/4 out of this. Yep, exactly. And then we're going to do 3/4. And I got some left over. I'm happy. So we got 3/4 and then we got 4 1/4 for the other, 4 1/2 rather, for the other side because we added, right? Okay. So let's cut off this bottom piece. Get all of our cutting out of the way. Now notice I did scissors on the other one. I just did a big no-no on that one beforehand. So we're going to do that. And what words am I doing? I'm doing the sympathy words because we switched it out with the other one. So the sympathy words, let's measure them. Okay, so sympathy words are about 2 inches, so I need it to be about 2 1/2 just to give me a little bit of leeway. Okay, so that's for our words there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to get my framing done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab here and I'm going to go and I'm going to line up here. You ready for this? Super, super easy, right? So I'm going to line up here as straight as I can be. And I need to cut from corner to corner here. So I want to hold on this side so I don't snip my finger. And I'm just going to go from corner to corner. And look at that. Those are those triangles that come off, right? So here's my corner to corner. Okay. And then this one is going to go corner to corner. Pretty cool, right? Okay. And then this one is going to go snip, snip this way. You just got to figure out what direction you're doing what with. And then these triangles are going to go off. So this should match just like this. And then this should match just like this. Makes it pretty darn simple, doesn't it? And then we're going to match here. And then this one, you always go from outer to inner corner. Okay. So we're going to go outer to inner. Okay. We're going to toss those triangles. Now, if you wanted to keep these triangles to like frame something else, you're more than welcome to. But I'm not doing that, so not tonight. All right, and then we're going to go corner to corner. Okay. And this is going to be held. And then I'm going to flip. Okay. And we're going to get rid of those triangles. And then this is going to go here and this is going to go here. We want to keep track of what goes where so everything matches up still. Okay. And then this is going to go on here. So I'm just going to run my Stampin' Seal just barely on the edge. Okay. Don't want to go too far off that edge because you don't want stickies where the frame isn't. Okay. And what are we going to do? We are just going to stick this right on here. You're going to go about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way down. And then we're going to go and we're going to stick this and we're going to cover. And this should go perfectly down like this. If you need to trim later, you can. But we try not to, right? Okay. So we're going to stick this here. If you got a little bit of space, it's just an older frame that's stretched out, right? It's just that simple. And then we're going to stick and we're going to stick. And then this is going to go right here. We got a little bit of gap, so we're just going to move this down. And there we go. It's just that simple. I love it, right? Makes it look all complicated and it's not. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment. Let's move that frame over. Got our Night of Navy again. Nautical colors, crumb cake and Night of Navy. Typical loafer colors, right? If you're buying boat shoes, isn't that normally what we call loafer colors? That navy blue and that khaki, right? Go shopping for loafers, prove me wrong. I dare ya. So, all right, so we've got that there. Okay, and then we just got to glue this all together. It's just that simple. Now, if you want to emboss, just make sure you mark top, left, right, bottom on the back with like a pencil or something. Okay, just that simple. Okay, so we've got our card base here. We're going to flip. There's our Stampin' Seal. We're going to stick this hopefully straight. If we don't get it perfect, what are we going to say? It's handmade. Just that simple, right? We're going to flip this over and I'm actually going to grab my dimensionals here. Remember, if you are done with all your honeycombs, what do? You start working on your borders, right? Because those stick too. Promise. Okay? And then I'm going to grab 2 in the middle because I don't want my little image to go concave on me. And then we're going to peel all these guys off. If you can't get them to peel easily, stick your thumbnail in the middle and make it pop up for you. Make them work for you, okay? Just that simple. I tend to have more problems with the black ones than the white ones for some reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Make sure you're putting this the right direction if you want to put it this way, but for me, the ocean's on the bottom, so the blue goes on the bottom. Up to you though, right? So, all right, so now we're going to have this hang over, but because there's a lip, I want to make sure to put on that side and not all the way because I don't want it to glue down and look all kind of lopsided on me. So here we go. I want to have a little bit of that matte sitting out. Okay. And then where did I put my pearls? I'm always losing my pearls. Okay. So grab whatever size you want. And oh, that frame is really crooked. Oh well, too late now, huh? So, gonna make a little triangle with our pearls. And that is that second card. Okay, so there's card number 2. Embossed or not? Which do you prefer? Okay, so that's card number 2. Now, last card, I'm going to show you how to cut it. Okay, and got to get all that adhesive off. All right, so last card is this triple step guy. We left the hardest for last. What do you think? Okay, not as hard as it looks, I promise, though. So let's get all of our cutting done. We got all our stamps put up. All right, so I have gone ahead and done some die cutting first. This is Whisper White. This is Basic White. Whew. And this is Coastal Cabana. And then we've got Sahara Sand for our shell or our fan. And then we've got 4 of these pieces of our grass. So that's going to be for our decoration on the front. If we don't use them all, that's fine. Okay, and we got some trimming to do, but it'll be fine. And then we've got pieces and parts and pieces and parts and pieces and parts, right? So our base is Night of Navy, and our base is going to be 4 1/4 by 11. So we're going to go 4 1/4, and obviously by 11. So there we go. Okay. And then we've got all our scoring to do. Are we ready? Okay. So our scoring, let me move these ink pads out of the way. Our scoring goes on the 11-inch side at 3 inches. Let me move this cutter up before I forget so I don't cut it. So we're going to go at 3 inches, at 6 inches, at 7 1/2, at 9, okay, and at 10. Okay. All right. Now to get the folding down, right? So our 3-inch one is our first one that we're going to fold, and that's going to be our mountain folds. You're going to fold that one down, and then you're just going to go opposite. Just that simple. Okay. Opposite, 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 and that's going to make it stand correctly, or however you want to say that. Now I'm going to come back and burnish these folds with a bone folder, but not right now. I want to get all my cutting done. Okay. So we're going to set that to the side. Ooh, I'm running out of room, as always. So we're going to cut our diamonds. Okay, and our diamonds, let's see here. Our diamonds are going to be 3 inches square, 2 1/2 inches square, 2 inches square. And that's going to be out of our designer series paper. So our designer series paper, I got to pull it out of the pile. Give me a half a second here. So we got 3 different designs. So here's 2, and here's the third one. Our third one's going to be the biggest one. So if this isn't big enough, I got to pull the other piece and we'll be fine. But 3 inches, yep, just shy. All right, so let's pull the other piece of this. I believe this is 3 inches. Let's see. Let's trim this down so it works. So 3 inches. Make sure you're looking at the pattern so you catch what part you want. So we're going to go 3 by 3. Yeah? Okay. So there's my 3 by 3 for this. And then my next ones are 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 is this beige color. So 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. I'm going to cut the shorter side first so I don't cut into the rest of that. So if I want to use it for something else, I can. So that's 2 1/2. And that's 2 1/2. And then my blue one, my brilliant one, that one is 2 inches. Ooh, that's not the right size. Let me see if I have another piece of that somewhere. And if not, yeah, I do. All right, so we're going to do 2 by 2 on this. Okay, so we're going to go 2 inches by 2 inches. And look at this. Did you see this? I believe it's foiling on it. It's just gorgeous with these swirls. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's hold it different ways so you can see those shines. I just love that. All right, so we've got 2 inches, and then all the mats are Coastal Cabana. So our mats are gonna be, whew, are we ready for this? So we have not only the mats for the diamonds here, or the squares, depending on how you turn them, right? But we've got all the mats for these steps and the back as well. Okay, so we got quite a bit to cut. So the mats for the back and the larger section, those are 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. All this will be on the blog tomorrow if you don't want to write it all down. So we got 4 1/8 and then 2 7/8. Okay, 2 7/8 and 2 7/8 because we got to do 2 of these because we got a front and a back to it. Okay, All right, so we've got those two. Then we go 1 3/8 by 4 1/8. So let's see. There's my 4 1/8. So we're gonna go 1 3/8. If you get confused on where everything is, all right, so eighths, right? So we've got, that's a quarter. So that would be 2 lines in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4/8 is half, right? So there's my 3/8. I know, all these fun things you got to keep track of, right? So 1 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then 7/8 by 4 1/8. So we still got 4 1/8. Now we got to do 7/8. So 7/8 would be, are we ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 clicks down from the 1 is my 7/8. All these fun things you got to learn to stamp, right? Okay. So there's my 7/8. All right, so 7/8 by 4 1/8. Now we need Sahara sand for the cutouts. We already did that. And we need some white. And the white needs to be 2 3/4 by 4. So we got 2 3/4 by almost 4. We're close. So there's my 4. Okay, and that's my back side. So I got my back side covered. That's always a good thing, isn't it? So we already did the diamonds. Those are 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 square, 2 3/8 square, and 1 7/8 square. So we already did those. Now we need to do all the steps. And what do I mean by that? I mean this piece, and that piece. Those are our covers for our steps. Yeah, really. Okay, so our steps are all 4 inches across. All 4 inches across. So there we go. We're using it properly, right? And then 2 3/4. Now this one doesn't quite go to 2 3/4. So we're going to go, I need to do that next one down. And that one, next one down is 1 1/4. So there we go. So now I still need to cut the bigger one. And that's fine. So here's my 4 inch. Now, if you want to do the envelope flap, you want to make sure to cut your piece for your envelope flap, if you want a coordinating one, 6 inches by 2 1/4, and that'll cover your envelope flap. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so we got that, and then 2 3/4 by 4. We'll see if I have enough of this. I might have to go get a little bit because I got overzealous, but it'll be all right. So 2 3/4. Ooh, that's not gonna happen, huh? So let's do the 3/4. Okay, that's the small one. I still gotta cover my big one. Just that simple, huh? Let's see, do I have any more out? Doesn't look like it. So I gotta find this one. 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so my big one is 2 3/4. I want to pay attention to the direction this is going. 2 3/4 by 4. And that's all my steps. Now we got all our hard parts done, right? Now we just got to fit it all and get it all done. Shouldn't be that big of an issue. Okay, so now what we have, I gotta get stuff out of the way so I can do what I need to do, right? So now what I have are all these pieces and parts, and then I've got my steps, my base. So what I'm gonna do first is get all my stuff in all my folds, and I'm gonna burnish them all because I want this to sit correctly. I do not want it to be all flopsy mopsy. I want it to sit upright. So that's why you burnish them. Okay. So now it's just a matter of making sure everything fits correctly. Okay. Now I had stamped the back of this with a seashell and a thank you. But if you don't want to do that, don't. It's just that simple. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to glue down. Maybe, if it'll work. So we're going to grab our Stampin' Seal, and I'm gluing this down. That way I know I have to put something else back here, right? So this just barely fits. So you really got to get it on there correctly. Now we're going to turn this way. I know there's not anything directional right now, but I want to be facing the correct way just because. Okay? It's just how it goes for me. So we're going to flatten this guy out, and we're going to go, that's going to go just barely. Make sure you don't cross over your score lines so it still sits correctly. Okay, so now we're going to find the rest of it. Okay, we're not covering the back of the step, we're only covering the front of the step, so we have 2 more to go. We can do it. Okay, so we're gonna put our glue on that one, and we're gonna put our glue on that one. I should say our adhesive. Okay. So I'm going to put on the front of the step, not on the tread, because that's where we walk. Okay. And that is going to go there, and that is going to go here. Okay. So when it folds up, it looks like that, and then the back looks like that. Okay. So this is for the envelope. Remember that. All right. So now this piece is gonna go right there. Okay, so we're gonna throw some adhesive on it, and we're gonna throw this down here. I'll move this down so I can see a little better. So we're gonna get this going here. Okay, and then we're gonna do our 2 other steps. So I'm going to lay down some adhesive, and we're going to mat these in here. Okay, and that one already got glue on it, so we can just throw this down here. Hopefully it's in the right spot. Close enough. Okay. Whew. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to mat all of our diamonds. Let's see, did I cut the other squares? Or did I miss? I think I forgot to cut the other squares. I think that's what happened. Let's do that real quick, because oh, I just dropped the whole stamp set. One second. I gotta pick it up. I got my pearls on the floor. We can't have that. And my stamp set. One sec. I definitely forgot to cut my diamond mats. So I'm going to have to do that real quick. So we'll pull out the trimmer and do it real quick, because they're not anywhere else. Alright, let me do that real quick. So our diamond mats, let's see. We already did our DSP for those. So let me flip it back and see what we got. So we are going to do, let's see, 3 inches. And these are all in Coastal Cabana, so you'll be fine. So we're gonna grab our piece. That's why I had so much left over. So we've got 3 inches square. Okay, so that's our first one. And then our second one is going to be 2.5 square. I did the mats, but I forgot to, ooh, that was supposed to be 2.5. I just goofed that up. I saw that as soon as I swiped it, so let's go back. All right, so 2.5 by 2.5, not 2. I was already on the next one. All right, so this last one should be 2 by 2. So we'll go 2, and then we'll go 2, and hopefully not mess it up. Okay, now we got all our mats. All right. Here we go. All right. Now we're set. I knew I missed something. All right, so we're going to grab our mats and we're going to glue it all together. So this should just barely mat inside, and it's not, so I got to trim a little bit. I did something wrong. That's okay though. It happens. I probably cut this the same. Yeah, this should be 2 7/8. I cut this the same as the mat size, so I read it wrong. That will not happen with your kit. So there's my 2 7/8. We'll leave that out because I might need that. Okay. So we're gonna grab here and we're gonna throw this on here. Now remember, this is going to be a diamond, so you got to make sure that the pattern's going the right way. But we'll get it. Okay? And then our next one, let's see if I did all the sizes goofy. I sure did. Okay. Gotta love it. Okay. So our next one should be, I said 2.5 and that was right, but it's not. So let's do 2 5/8 instead and just make it a touch bit bigger, and then it'll work just fine. So this should mat just perfect. There we go. Okay, and this last one, yep, I must have read the same with the same. Okay. So we're going to go 2 1/8, and we're going to go 2 1/8, and it'll be just fine. Love Life TV, because if you mess up, you got to keep going, right? So, alrighty. So we should be good with that now. So let's get these glued in here. So, as such, okay, and make sure that pretty blue is out. I got a sticky spot on my Stampin' Seal. It keeps oh yeah, I got a whole bunch, but we'll get it. It's okay. So we're gonna stick these down here. Okay, now we got that part done. So now we're going to do some stamping. And I think I'm going to do thank you for everything. Yes, I know I've already, but you got to keep saying thanks, right? So, all right. So we're going to grab here, and blocks would be good. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to do, and we're gonna do, okay, we're gonna put our words on first. How's everybody doing? Okay, we're gonna put our words on first, our sentiment, okay, and then we're gonna close this up so we don't mess up, and we're gonna grab our Sahara Sand because that's what matches all the other pieces and the pieces in the designer series paper. So we're going to stamp that, and we're going to stamp some shells down there. Just barely, want them to show up, nothing major. And let's do this. Let's stamp this while we've got it out, so I don't have to think about stamping anymore. I know that's a weird thing to say, isn't it? But you get what I'm saying. All right, so let's see here. Let's throw this onto a different block to clean it later. And we're going to stick our You Are a Pearl on here. And this is going to go on our circle. If you don't have this set and you order the DIY kit, not a problem. Just find something small. And if you don't have something small, put a gem or a butterfly or something like that there. It'll work out. Okay, so that's all our pieces and parts. And that keeps sticking to that now, doesn't it? Okay. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. Let me get this off because that's kind of driving me crazy that it keeps sticking. That's what jeans are for, right? So we're going to go here. And this is going to get put on the back. This is why you put the designer paper first, so that way you know what the back is. I know, but still, okay? So now what we're going to do is all of our diamonds are going to go, or squares, but they're going to be diamonds, right? So that's going to go there. You want to make sure your points are within the sides of your piece, and then you got to figure out how much adhesive. So I can go about not quite 3/4 of the way up, so I'm just going to go a little bit above half and stick some Stampin' Seal all the way down there. Okay, and what we're going to do is we are going to hold this flat. Let's see, where did I put my point? Down this way. So we're going to hold this flat and go just like 1/16 of an inch above where that score line comes in. And then we're going to put our points to our points. And that is going to be our first diamond. Okay. And then this next one, you're going to kind of dry fit and set down in there because you want to know what direction you want it to be in. If you want it this way or this way. I want my crab legs going down, so I want it this way. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to go just under half on this guy. So, come on, work. All right. So this is going to go same, centered, and you kind of push it down right under that score line, but you want to go centered with the other one, so that way it doesn't look all cattywampus. Okay? Yeah, that's a technical term, right? Okay, now this front one is going to go right here. So you just are going to get like a stripe and a half, and that's it. You don't want any sticky sticking out, so you got to do what you got to do, right? Okay, so now we're going to go right in the middle because we want it all to be lined up. Okay.